Hello, welcome to another edition of CropLife Retail Week. I'm Eric Sfiligoj, editor of CropLife and CropLife Iron magazines. Here again with Lara Sowinski with our first video for fall. Laura, welcome back to the program now in the autumn time frame.
Yeah, thank you. As you can see, I'm wearing a flannel shirt because it's now into the 80s at night, which it's
Oh my goodness.
downright chilly.
I was going to say here in Ohio, the furnaces have been going, and of course, I know our leaves are changing, but I suspect your cacti in Texas are just completely ignoring things. So,
Yeah, they don't change much. So the only there are some beautiful trees. I probably said this before, but El Paso's at 3,800 feet. So we do get a nice change of season, and there are some beautiful leaves starting to change, but it's going to take, gosh, probably another month before we see anything significant. But
yes.
yeah, I miss those beautiful leaves in Ohio. So
Yes, well, you miss them when you see them on the tree, when they're on your lawn, killing the lawn, and you have to rake them off of your lawn and try to shove them into paper bags to be picked up. It's not as much fun, trust me.
Yeah, sorry.
That's all right. So, hey, as we are into fall, one of the things we do, a tradition annually, the last decade or so, is CropLife Iron has its annual competition for the Product of the Year award. So this year we have 5 nominees that are vying for the trophy from the companies that are AGCO, Peterson Motors, Bosch, BASF, Pegasus Robotics, and of course our friends at Raven Industries. So I'm sure we ran the photos as I was talking up on the screen. And if you look on the screen, there'll be a link to vote. We're accepting votes now until the end of October. And the winning product then will be getting the trophy, the physical trophy, at one of the winter trade shows. Could be at the Agricultural Retailers Association meeting or the National Farm Machinery Show in February. It depends on who wins and which events they're actually going to have representatives at, so we can hand off the trophy in person. But please, if you have a fan favorite among those 5 products, vote. Vote early. Don't vote too much. I know one year we had a fifth grade class of somebody's parent company basically stuffing the ballot box, and I had to throw out, I think, 96 nominations because they were from the same child using different computers to over and over again vote. So please don't do that. But if you would vote one time for your favorite product, we'll be more than happy to count it.
That's cool. That's a
Yeah.
nice lineup there. So
Yeah, no, it's a good lineup. Again, every year I'm always amazed. I know we go into the summer shows and I'm thinking, oh, I don't have 5 products. And by the time the summer shows are over, I'm like, well, I've got 10 products. How do we narrow it down to 5? So, but we manage. So,
yeah, cool.
and one other thing, of course, to mention of was we're gearing up for it. Our December issue this year for CropLife will be celebrating 40 years of our CropLife 100 rankings, and I've been collecting the CropLife 100 forms. And thus far, Laura, I'm happy to report that 86 of the 100 folks have gotten their forms back to me, which I'm thankful for.
Yeah.
So for those who've gotten them in the forms, thank you very much. I'm compiling the data in our database and be sharing some information in future videos regarding that and also in print. But for the 14 companies that haven't gotten something back from me yet, and a lot of them said they were waiting to close their books at the end of September. By the time this video airs, it'll be the last day of September. So please get those forms to me next week so I can enter your data in and have a complete 100 database to work with for our report.
Yay, that's great. And then we'll hear maybe some little teaser insights that you're seeing some trends, which
I think you can be, I think you'd be safe predicting now until the report appears in early December. I will be sharing little tidbits, little nuggets of wisdom from what everybody said on their top 100 forms. So.
Great. Looking forward to that.
Yeah. So, hey, I know last week, again, we did our fun with numbers segment and we were talking a little bit about the Mississippi River and low water levels. And as fate would have it, as we were talking before we got on camera, you and I both found news items regarding the Mississippi River water situation. And since I've been talking, I will let you take it away from here, and then I'll add what tidbits I have.
Yeah, obviously we've been following the story here at CropLife, but it's been making the national news as well, not only for the impact on grain exports, but saltwater intrusion from the Gulf of Mexico into the river. So kind of a really critical story. So, the latest, and as you mentioned, yeah, we're both kind of tracking this. Really the unfortunate 1-2 punch of, the drought in the Midwest, particularly like eastern Iowa and that area, compounded now with the water levels that are falling. Really, they're around historic lows again, kind of the second year for that. So you have the drought compounded with higher transportation costs and stuff. So, I'm always thinking, what's the alternative? Is there something, excuse me, that could, help lessen the blow, if you will? So just couple news that I gathered here. Erin Jordan from the Gazette out of Cedar Rapids, Iowa, had a couple good items that she posted in her article. As far as alternatives, for Iowa farmers, according to Erin, who live 30 minutes to an hour from the river, can drive their soybeans to barge loading terminals along the river. Beans are stowed on barges that float down the Mississippi to New Orleans, where they're transferred, etc. But so for those that, again, are trying to maybe work around the situation with the barges, I guess some increasing number of folks are looking at diverting their crops to rail transportation, primarily to the Pacific Northwest, where they are loaded for export down to Mexico. Iowa farmers, she writes, have the advantage of selling beans and grains to processors, including Cargill, ADM, etc. Corn can be sold to ethanol plants, etc. So, not the ideal. I think the other item that really stands out for me is that, well, it looks like the corn yield won't be too severely impacted by the drought. I guess the soybeans are really, really getting hit hard. They're really small. So, a lot of farmers that are looking at their soybean yield and what they're going to get from that, they said, the drought has already kind of hit them. So the transportation costs, it's almost like we already got hit the hardest, if you will. So this is just a really bad situation for them. So the latest, it looks like rates out of St. Louis are about 70% higher than the 3-year average. We're talking, of course, barge rates. Out of Memphis, rates are 90% higher than the 3-year average. So not a lot of good news on that front. And I think, as you mentioned, when we were kind of chatting about it, you had some other news related to this. What did you find out?
Well, yeah, the thing I found interesting, of course, the Army Corps of Engineers they were put out a release that I was reading from, and it says that they're doing their best to dredge parts of the Mississippi to actually help keep traffic moving. But the dredging process takes time, which means the traffic is slowed down, which is not helping the cost situation, as you mentioned. And of course, just to kind of appreciate how widespread this low water level issue is on the Mississippi, their release mentioned that that there was a 400-mile stretch, basically from the Ohio River all the way down to Jackson, Mississippi, where the water gauges are below the historic norms for water levels this time of year. So again, we're talking pretty widespread problems. So
Yeah.
and again, I heard in radio broadcast this morning that was talking a little bit about this. And they mentioned basically the only solution is going to be more rainfall. So hopefully now that we're in fall, one would hope maybe some of the rainy weather that I know tends to hit Ohio this time of year will start hitting the central part of the United States as well, and will help alleviate some of these drought, low river level conditions that we're dealing with. So,
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, while the corn exports, wheat being, everything going down, rivers affected, obviously that same any raw materials, any equipment, finished goods going up river by barge, likewise are impacted. So pretty grim right now. So yeah, hoping for rain for those folks in that area.
amen. Yeah, and I know it's been a very, very wet spring and summer here in Ohio. So we'd be more than glad to ship some of these clouds to, to the rest of the country, places like Minnesota and Wisconsin and Iowa that are dealing with more of
Yeah,
these drought conditions. So our heart goes out to everyone there who's dealing with this, and hopefully we'll get some rain and this issue will alleviate a little bit. So,
for sure, for sure.
all right. Well, speaking of drought, you did end it last week, but it is time for your favorite segment of the show. How was that for a weird, odd transition? Time
It'll
for time for fun with numbers.
Yay.
Like I said, you ended your drought last week, so we'll see if you can keep it going. My fingers are crossed for you because I made it a little harder this week. So
So in other words, I have to guess. Is that what?
yeah, well, you guess every week. It's just
But sometimes it's an educated guess. There's
it's sometimes your guesses are. I mean, I remember there was
along
a stretch there for like 8 weeks. I think you got it right every time. I was just getting, as the co-host trying to
the line.
flummox you, I was having a really tough time. So, but anyhow, this week your number is 47%.
Okay.
All right. So is 47% is that the percentage decrease in projected cotton acreage for 2024? Is it B, the percentage increase in barge costs for the Mississippi for 2023? Is it C, the percentage of CropLife 100 dealers unsure of AI's role in ag in 2024? Or
Mhm.
is it D, the percentage of time I've spent cleaning up leaves already in my yard since fall has arrived?
Oh boy. Well, you always, D, it always seems like far-fetched, but sometimes it's really not. I think you do a really good job of, of trying to.
It's not quite half yet, but I mean it will be as we get into the October timeframe. But at the moment, it's probably only about maybe 20-25% of my time has been. I have two trees that drop their leaves inordinately early, so it does tend to they start early on me, which means I have to start raking really quickly. So
Well, tell me again what C was the
percent,
AI.
yeah,
Yeah.
percentage of CropLife 100 dealers unsure of AI's role in ag for 2024.
You make this hard. I'm gonna go for C.
You are absolutely correct. Way to pay attention since I teased the
Ah,
CropLife 100 data. Yeah, I actually was surprised. We asked a question this year because, of course, one of the things in the news a lot this year was artificial intelligence, AI.
yep.
And I asked the question, how much market penetration do you expect to see for AI systems in 2024? And
Mhm.
thus far, 47% of the respondents have said that they are absolutely unsure because it is quote unquote too early to tell
Yeah. Yeah.
exactly what role AI is going to play in the 2024 growing season in the
Yeah.
marketplace. So,
That was
um,
a good
and
one.
and again, it shouldn't surprise me, but I know sometimes when these technologies appear, people expect big things all at once, but they're treading a little more cautiously on AI at this point.
Yeah. 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 That's good. That was a good one, Eric. Like
Yeah,
that
well,
one.
thank you. So there's your first nugget from this year's CropLife
Yay.
100. And
Awesome.
again, folks, these, I'm still missing some forms, so these percentages, the final percentages may change up or down, but at the moment, tracking not quite half of the folks in the industry are not quite sure what AI is going to do next year in the fields across the country. So,
Hey, before we sign off, I just wanted to, as you can see, wearing my Women in Ag Tech cap this morning. We are going to be at the ARA event, looking forward to that at the end of November. If any women in ag tech gals will be at that event, we would love to connect with you. We are actually anticipating a nice little group there, and if we know you're going to be there, we can kind of make plans in advance how and when we will meet up during our time in Orlando. So let us know. We have our LinkedIn group, Women in Ag Tech LinkedIn group. And actually, I put like a little funny post there yesterday. So it has to do with the hat. But yeah, so let us know.
all right. Well, yeah, we'll have to, again, ARA, of course, is the end of November in
Mhm.
Orlando, as you said. And I know we'll be making lots of pre-show plans for you and me and the group. And we'll be sharing those, of course, in the upcoming videos. So stay
Yeah,
tuned for that information. But yes, if you're there, please join us. I'll wave at you from outside the room because I'm not allowed in. But wrong chromosomes. I got the Y's and not an X. Sorry.
Eric. That's what
Uh,
makes Retail Week one of the best video casts you can get online.
very good. Yeah. Hey, who knows? Maybe we'll actually, I know we earlier this year we did a live broadcast from the Maggie show. Maybe we'll be
Right,
able to
right.
do a live one from the floor of ARA or a room at ARA or some part of ARA with videos included. So,
For sure. Let's plan on it.
all right. We'll call it a date. All right. Well, that's it for this edition of CropLife Retail Week. On behalf of myself and everyone here at the magazine, thanks for joining us. We'll see you again soon. If you have questions or comments about today's episode of Retail Week, contact us by email or Twitter, or type your message in the comment section below. Your feedback is important to us. We will try our best to address your thoughts in next week's episode, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel.